You have the power to create meaning in your life rather than passively look for it. So for me, I create the meaning. And meaning to me is, do I know more about the world today than I did yesterday? That enhances meaning for me. And if that accumulates and accrues daily, in a month you know way more than you did than just that day later, so that you continue to grow. And so we've built a system for ourselves where there's an answer and everything else is not the answer, even when some answers are better than others. So our brains are absent the wiring capable of coming up with an original thought, or thought not previously considered, or thought between the ideas that are already laid on the table. What we're not valuing is knowledge as process, rather than knowledge as an answer. When you study the universe or any frontier where no one has stepped before, there's a certain thrill and exhilaration. What you create, no one who was ever born before you or will be born from your death onwards will ever compose exactly the same thing you did. So in that sense, art is a unique expression of the individual, whereas the science is the discovery of the pre-existing conditions of nature. And so each requires certain levels of creativity to make those discoveries, to engage the frontier in ways no one has engaged it before. On my tombstone, I want the epitaph, "Be ashamed to die until you have scored some victory for humanity." It's not a victory for yourself. It's not statues. It's not your name. It's just humanity's better off. You want the world to be, any of us, I think, should want the world to be a little better off for you having lived in it. That doesn't mean people praising you. No, not even about that. So what do you have to give with no expectation of return? Have I lessened the sufferings of others today? That brings meaning to me, because that means the world is a little better off because I was in it today. If after your day is over, the world is worse off, you have subtracted meaning. So lessen the suffering of others in some way. Doesn't mean redirect your whole life, mind, body, and soul, but if you can help someone across the street, help an aging person, make a child laugh, just put a little bit of joy in the world. To lessen the suffering. You realize when you know how to think, it empowers you far beyond those who know only what to think. For me, what I do for the public is almost 80+% of it is driven by duty, not by ambition.
What gives you the sense of duty?
Because I can do something. And if I can do it better than others, and it's for a greater good in society, I would be irresponsible if I did not. There was no teacher any time in my life who would have ever pointed to me and said, "He'll go far." Because my grades were never, because they index to grades, and they think the people with high grades are the ones that are going to be significant shakers and movers in the world, because the system is constructed that way. You have to create what it is that you do best, that layers onto the formal training that may be behind it. I think the greatest of people that have ever been in society, they were never versions of someone else. They were themselves. People learn from me in a way that they are empowered by what I taught them. So that when they think of what they learned from me, they no longer think of me. They think of their own base of understanding of how this world works. And so that I become irrelevant from that exercise. And because if people say, "This is true because Tyson said so," then I failed. That's not how you teach someone. That's teaching them by authority.